The roll, it was a 7. The Demogorgon, it got me.
When looking back on Season 1, it's mind-blowing just how much foreshadowing there was to the story and characters to come. The amount of personal development our heroes have gone through by Season 4 gives us direct parallels to their original introductions.
There's this thing called acting, and you just gotta do it!
Number 1. Millie Bobby Brown.
Think you can steal from me, boy? What the hell?
This is the first scene we actually get to see Eleven, but the moment before that, in Hawkins Lab, says a lot.
This where it came from? Yes. And the girl? She can't have gone far.
This is the first glimpse of the Upside Down that we get to see. And then following, we see a young, scared little girl in a hospital gown just trying to find some food. Eleven has no idea just how powerful she is at this time. In her final, major Season 4 moment, she uses those same powers that caused all that Season 1 terror and destruction to bring Max.
No.
Eleven is definitely sure of herself now.
How to gain that autonomy and become this woman on her own. This season really digs into that.
Number 2. Finn Wolfhard.
Something is coming. Something hungry for blood.
Mike really grew up over the last 4 years in Hawkins. Going from a young, timid little boy to...
We have to kill him. And we will. We will.
Finn Wolfhard could never forget shooting that very first scene in Mike's basement. Part of that reason being, it was the very first thing he did for the show. He was so nervous. He and the rest of the guys couldn't stop laughing.
And we were all, I think, just really, just scared. We didn't have any rehearsal or anything.
It's pretty insane to see Mike going from Dungeon Master to confidently plotting Vecna's demise.
Yeah, I like to plan ahead. I'm like a criminal mastermind.
Number 3. Gaten Matarazzo.
What if it's the Demogorgon? Oh, Jesus, we're so screwed if it's the Demogorgon.
Talk about foreshadowing. Gaten Matarazzo's character, Dustin, has a similar path of growth as Finn Wolfhard's character. He goes from nerdy Dungeons & Dragons kid hanging out in his friend's basement to a major Hawkins hero. His final scene in the 4th season is definitely more on the sadder side.
He isn't just innocent, Mr. Munson, he's a hero.
It wasn't a Demogorgon that screwed them this time around, though.
I kind of deserved it at that point.
Number 4. Caleb McLaughlin.
Don't be a pussy! Fireball him!
It's crazy to see how much these characters have grown throughout the years. Caleb McLaughlin's first scene where he's freaking out about the Demogorgon in Dungeons & Dragons seems like an entirely different person than the one with a swollen eye reading passages from the talisman to Max in her hospital bed.
We were babies, our mindsets are totally different from now, but we've grown so much and evolved.
The passage he's reading from the talisman is actually pretty significant to the story.
Speedy, I'm here, my god. I'm here in the territories.
This part in the novel is when the main characters step into their version of the Upside Down. It almost directly correlates to what Max and the others have been through.
I would say this is the most vulnerable season that everyone's had. This season is answering a lot of questions.
Number 5. Noah Schnapp.
Will, your action! I don't know. Fireball him! I'd have to roll a 13 or higher.
Ah, poor sweet Will. He has no idea he's totally gonna get taken to the Upside Down in a bit. Will's character has had pretty significant growth over the past 4 seasons, including being a total champ about everyone, including the writers forgetting his birthday. It's clear from his first few lines in the show that he's very timid, shy, and perhaps a bit indecisive. Moving forward into the end of Season 4...
We have to kill him.
Yeah, he's done being victimized. He's ready to stand up and end Vecna's torment over him once and for all.
Oh my god, it's chaos, but I love it.
Number 6. Sadie Sink.
Maxine.
It's Max.
Sorry?
Nobody calls me Maxine.
Max's character is definitely a fan favorite. It's hard not to root for her after all that she's been through.
I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared.
It's interesting how the tables have turned here in comparison to...
You should have seen the look on your faces. And you? Who screams like that? You sound like a little girl.
Though we're sure Lucas would rather scream like a little girl any day over watching one of his best friends suffer. Max's feisty introduction in Season 2 definitely carries throughout the series, as well as her immense bravery when it comes to protecting her friends.
It being a series, the characters really grow and develop in each season. They're almost like a different person.
Number 7, Priah Ferguson.
You are such a nerd. Shut up. No wonder you only hang out with boys.
How are we not going to love the sarcastic, intelligent Erica Sinclair? Her character definitely holds true to her first introduction. She loves making fun of her brother, but she does end up developing into a core member of the gang, so there's that. There are quite a few wins they wouldn't have gotten without Erica by their side. Number 8, Joe Keery.
I really, seriously, I have to go.
Ladies' man, Steve Harrington. It's actually such a Twilight Zone moment to look back on Season 1 Steve, because he has truly grown and matured so much.
Is that supposed to impress me?
You're not?
By the end of Season 4, Steve is no longer just a ladies' man or a babysitter. He's, in the words of Eddie Munson,
Steve Harrington is actually a good dude.
In his final scene at the food and clothing drive, we're definitely not looking at the same guy from Season 1.
Now looking back, actually, the first season, you do see a real significant change in.
Number 9, Natalia Dyer.
Hey, Nancy. There's a slice left if you want it. Sausage and pepperoni.
Hold on.
Speaking of blowing Vecna to bits, who would have guessed that Mike's rude teenage sister would play such an important role in saving the world?
She's got a stick up her butt.
Yeah, it's because she's been dating that douchebag Steve Harrington.
Again, such a Twilight Zone moment, hearing Steve and Nancy get talked about like this. Nancy, like Erica, found herself playing an important role in her brother's friends group she initially wanted no part of.
Steve.
He's actually grown up quite a bit, you know?
It seems like the Steve and Nancy saga might not be over just yet.
Nancy really comes into herself in a different way this season through that, and she's quite fearless.
Number 10, Charlie Heaton.
Did he come home or not?
I don't know.
Charlie Heaton did a great job of portraying Will's older, guilt-ridden brother. When asked if he's woken Will up for school, he says he hasn't. He's making breakfast. He's trying to avoid his tasks, like babysitting, by saying he thought they could use the extra cash. That's why he wasn't home to watch Will the night he vanished, because he was working. Though Jonathan grows a lot in the series, it seems like his avoidant ways still seem to surface in times of discomfort. Like when Nancy asks him about his college acceptance letter.
No, not yet.
Number 11, Winona Ryder.
Will didn't spend the night?
No, he left here a little bit after 8.
We are huge fans of anything Winona Ryder does. Her character Joyce goes through so much throughout the series. From trying to convince Hopper she's not crazy, to literally saving him from the tortuous Russian base he was trapped in. Also, from her first scene, where she's concerned about where Will is, to neutralizing a Demogorgon with no time to spare, well, she truly steps into her well-deserved role as a hero.
It's all woven together really beautifully and still has that Stranger Things heart.
Number 12, David Harbour. The first time we meet Hopper definitely says a lot. He's passed out on the couch surrounded by cigarette butts and empty beer cans. He doesn't have any dialogue because he's very, very alone. Later on in the episode, we learn more about his gruff demeanor. He lost his daughter. We sympathize with him. He's heartbroken, which is what makes this final scene in Season 4 so special.
Hey, kid.
Number 13, Maya Hawke.
I'm Robin.
Pleasure to meet you.
Robin couldn't have started off in a more iconic way. All she does is roast Steve throughout their work shift.
You are 0 for 6, Popeye.
Yeah, I can count.
Steve obviously wants to date her. He wants to date everyone. But throughout their time together, she ends up coming out to him, and he becomes her first and truly one of her best allies.
Oh, you really shouldn't have.
Oh, but I did.
I just don't even deserve it.
Number 14, Joseph Quinn.
I'm gonna flip him the bird. I'm gonna snatch that diploma.
We know Eddie Munson was only around for Season 4, but he made a huge impact on us as fans. He starts off as this bad boy jokester who freaks everybody out because he plays Dungeons & Dragons and could possibly worship Satan. Due to these misunderstandings, he spends most of his time on the show running for his life, but in the end, he's a Hawkins hero.
I think it's my year, Anderson. I think it's finally my year
Number 15, Eduardo Franco.
His funny friend Argyle has been taking us to school. His hair is longer than mine.
We absolutely love Argyle. He and Jonathan are a total comedic dream team.
Like a shrink, you know? Like he's there to listen to whatever Jonathan's got going on in his mind.
By the end of season 4, Argyle has definitely earned his good karma.
Absolutely. Eden, I will do anything for you.
But even his love for Eden can't stop him from being Jonathan's best bud.
What's he doing?
Looks like he's gathering mushrooms.
After looking back at everyone's introductions to the show, it's clear just how much all of these characters have grown, matured, and stepped into their true role as the heroes of Hawkins. Who's your favorite character in Stranger Things?